I like Chapel Roan. The voice is so soothing, no? Yeah. Everyone always wants you to have a holly jolly Christmas and a happy holiday. But what if you're not feeling your best during the holiday season?
Yeah, it's tough. The American Psychological Association found that 9 out of 10 U.S. adults feel stressed during the holidays. Hi, I'm one of them. Between stress, grief, get-togethers, psychotherapist Olivia Verholst is here to help us navigate our mental health and the holidays. Here, madam. Always good to see you.
It's great to see you. Thanks for having me back.
Of course. You guys just met for the first time.
Yes.
I've
already asked her for help.
Well, I mean, that's why we bring her here. So it feels like the holidays, there's a lot of pressure to perform and to do things. We were actually just talking about being alone on the holidays. It's like a lot of times parents build the magic.
And you build the magic, and if your family is not with you, you sort of feel empty. That's how I would feel. Oftentimes I have to work during the holidays, and sometimes if I miss out on something, I think, is it going to be as special for them? But it's my selfish feeling of missing my void. You know what I mean?
Yeah, expectation management is a huge piece of this. And I'll say, while holidays can be such a joyful time of year, it is also a time of year for heightened stress, heightened sensitivity. And what we see as therapists, we often see heightened emotional stress, financial stress, and problems with boundaries, as well as grief and loneliness being triggered. Specifically with time stress, that can look like rushing to meet deadlines, rushing through the day, overcommitting, and with emotional stress, that can look like family triggers, like going home, and falling into those familiar but sometimes unhealthy relational dynamics at home.
I saw a meme that was quite funny, but probably not funny to some people. It was like, don't forget to set your alarm for December 23rd to tell your family you have COVID.
Right.
But
I know, but the lengths we'll go through.
Yes, because sometimes having that big family gathering is like, here comes the questions of why I'm single, here comes the questions or comments of how I'm raising my children. You know what I mean?
We'll talk boundaries today.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So what are some suggestions that you would give us to prioritize that list of things that are triggering?
So a few quick things on my mind is one, sticking to generally a routine. You will fall off your routine, so don't be too rigid, but have a flexible routine where you can still meet some of your needs. In addition to that, expectation management, but then most importantly above all, mindfulness and boundaries. Yeah. Those are the biggies.
That is super important, because I was on the phone with a friend and I was it's like one of these burning questions I've always had, and I felt myself about to ask it, and I was like, Marisol, what are you going to accomplish with this? And I stopped myself, and then she was like, what? And I was like, oh, nothing, girl, I'm trying to wrap this present. But I knew if I had asked the question, it would have opened up a whole can of worms that I wasn't prepared to, and it would have just made her upset.
The pause.
The pause and collecting yourself.
So what are some examples of how we get through it?
So boundaries, again, are the personal limits that we set for ourselves that allow us to actually be within our window of tolerance to enjoy life more, whereas mindfulness asks us to slow down so that on January 2nd, we don't wake up and say, where did the holiday season go? So specific boundaries you can set around are around your financial budget and your energy budget. Know in advance what you need to prioritize and commit to. Don't let guilt be in the driver's seat of making decisions for you. And then with mindfulness, I would encourage taking 3 mindful micro breaks a day. 3 minutes at a time, pause, body scan, breath work. We're all busy right now, but we have those 3 minutes.
Wow. 3 times a day?
Yeah, and flexible there. Could be 4.
I'm trying to think of where I would fit that in. That's amazing.
That's stressful.
You
don't.
can do it.
You do it. Just don't do it right now, because I can't have you be quiet for 3 minutes. Earlier, go ahead.
No, we were talking about some people missing family, being alone. For some people who've lost family members, this time can also be very triggering because of grief. What do you do if you're dealing with grief and you really miss a parent or a grandparent or someone else who made this time special for you?
So I actually have some dear people that I love on my mind right now with this question, and I'll say I would want to remind grievers that we grieve because we love. And when that experience of grief comes on, it's not a problem to be fixed. But with that said, we can experience grief and joy. They can coexist. So if there are those small moments of glimmers of joy, give yourself permission to be in them if you can. And also prioritize what you can really commit to this year. Don't be afraid to say no if things need to look different. That is okay.
And holiday blues, that is a term that goes around, and I think sometimes it goes, I have a friend who lost his mom at the beginning of the year, and I've been giving him space, and selfishly I miss him, and I miss our time together, and I'm doing that tight walk of, you know, giving him space and grace. But how do we navigate all of that? Because that's one type of holiday blues, but I'm sure there are others.
What's interesting about the holiday blues is it is a quite subjective term. So that could range from people who are grieving, it can range from people who are experiencing just low mood loneliness around the season, all the way to I'm experiencing all the symptoms of depression and I need support and help. So if that's you, you want to look for the cues of my depression or my holiday blues is impacting my ability to function. It's prolonged. And you can reach out to my group practice I work for at Let's Talk Psychological Wellness, team of diverse and brilliant therapists I work with, as one resource if you need help.
I love it.
Can I ask one more question about boundaries? We have time.
Yeah.
How do you know if you're making a boundary or just downright being selfish? Is there a line?
Oh my gosh, such a loaded question.
That's a good one.
So I'll say with boundaries, I think a common misconception is that is a wall where we're pushing people away. We want to think of it actually as a gift to our relationships, and it's about me. It's about my limit. My experience of this situation is X, so I need to do Y. And that can be delivered kindly and respectfully. So approach does matter, the purpose of it does matter, and more often than not, it's not a wall where we're hurting people or pushing them.
Clearly, this is why she's a friend of the show.
I know.
We will have you come back. Olivia Verhulst, always wonderful to see you. Thank you so much.
Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays.